Good evening and welcome to this virtual learning session. My name is Justin and I am the Scouting Relationship Manager for the Nova Scotia Council. Thank you for joining me tonight to talk about how teamwork makes the dream work, building and managing an effective team. Tonight, I hope that you take away 5 key learnings. The first being starting with the why. Why do we do the things we do? Leadership. Why is it important? Group development theory. The 5 dysfunctions of a team. And lastly, aligning with Scouts Canada mission, bringing it all together. Let's start with the why and how to inspire action. Now, everyone knows the 5 W's. Who, what, where, when, and why. Before we dive into anything else, let's talk about the why. Things like why you became a group commissioner. Why did you join Scouts? Why do you believe in the Scouts mission? Why are there challenges in recruiting and maintaining section scouters or youth? Some folks may be able to answer these questions, and some folks may not, and that's okay. What I want folks to focus on is the why. Why do you do the things you do, and why would others want to do them with you? If you don't know why you do something, how will others know why they want to be part of it? As a group commissioner or section scouter, you've taken on a leadership role. And I surmise that you hope that folks will want to support your leadership and follow you. It's what draws people to leadership. To break this down a little bit further, I'm going to say that leadership is a led community of like-minded individuals pursuing the same goals or interests. These goals and interests and the sharing of them with others are why we do some of the things we do and why we want to be part of things. When you can answer the why, not only can you start to fully answer the other 4 W's, but also how. How do you take who, what, where, when, and why, and inspire action? Next, let's look at leadership and why is it important? Great leadership can inspire action. So let's take a look at this photo. You may have seen this one or one like it before. In a moment, but not just yet, I want you to pause the video and take a minute to think about and/or write down your thoughts about what this photo is trying to say. After that minute, resume the video and continue on. We'll dive a little bit deeper into the meaning of this photo. I encourage you to chat with others about what you see in this photo and the differences between a leader and a boss. This photo, in its simplest form, is depicting the difference between a leader and a boss. There has been some really great research that has gone into identifying the differences between the two. And this photo depicts one thing that both are involved with, and that's workload. A leader helps to move the work forward with their team, while a boss, who also helps to make the work move forward, uses other skills, such as delegation or directives. Both a leader and boss help to move folks forward towards a goal. And neither method to get there is good or bad, but there most definitely are pros and cons between the two. So let's look at a boss versus a leader and what some of those are. A boss drives an employee, while a leader leads an employee. A boss can micromanage, while a leader inspires enthusiasm. A boss uses employees, while a leader develops employees. A boss commands, while a leader asks. A boss demands respect, while a leader earns it by making employees feel valued. A boss depends on authority, while a leader depends on goodwill. And a boss makes employees feel inferior, while a leader trusts employees will perform their jobs. Now, this is very general and may not actually be relevant towards you or what you consider to be a boss or a leader. Some bosses very much are leaders, and some leaders are very much bosses. It depends on the situation. And as I said before, it's neither good or bad, just pros or cons. Let's look at 4 main leadership styles. Although you could Google and find many variations available, we're going to focus on 4: autocratic, democratic, laissez-faire, and bureaucratic. I want you to take between 3 to 5 minutes to read through each. While you read through each, I want you to identify which leadership style is most prominent to yourself. You can pause the video now and resume it once you're ready to move on to the next conversation. Overall, regardless of which leadership style you use, leaders set the tone. This includes whether or not folks feel safe and whether or not they feel like they belong. Both take time, but when folks start to feel safe, they start to trust. Trust is not something that can be bought or given at will. It's earned. And how you lead is a choice. It affects both the why and how that trust is earned. Some choose authority, like autocratic leadership. Some choose to lead from the back and let their team direct, like laissez-faire. Let's see what type of leader you are. Click on the link and follow the instructions to complete the quiz. Take about 10 to 15 minutes to complete it. Your answers won't be shared unless you choose to do so. If the link doesn't work, copy and paste. And it will be provided in an email sent out with this virtual learning session. This quiz can be taken at any time and can be used with other section scouters, youth, or anyone as a really great introductory activity. When you're ready to move on to the next slide, start with the presentation again. Let's take stock of our leadership skills and the style that most speaks to you and how they play a role. The skills and leadership style you already have and the skills you seek to learn will help determine the success and effectiveness of your team. Take a moment to brainstorm some of the skills you already have and what are some of the skills that you would like to learn. Building a team that have complementary skills and leadership styles help to create an effective environment to be able to move the workload forward. With any team, you have to start from the beginning. Next, we're going to start to talk about the group development theory, building a successful team. Each team starts by forming. In this stage, most team members are positive and polite. Some are anxious, as they haven't fully understood what work the team will do. Others are simply excited about the task ahead. As a leader, you play a dominant role at this stage because team members' roles and responsibilities aren't clear. This stage can last for some time as people start to work together and as they make an effort to get to know their new colleagues. At the beginning of the presentation, I talked about a community of like-minded individuals pursuing the same goals or interests. Scouts is a community, as in your group committee, or your section scouters, or even your youth. A full value contract is a starting point for any group. It provides the ground rules for behavior for the life of the group. This activity also helps to mitigate any conflict in the future. I found a really great example of a full value contract. Again, the link will be provided in the email with the virtual learning session. Click on the link and watch the video. This activity can be repeated with committees, scouters, and youth. One question that I get sometimes with a full value contract is, do you need to create a new one every time someone new joins? In short, no. Although if time permits, and depending on the volunteer's role, it may be beneficial. At minimum, it should be revisited with new volunteers or youth and as they join so that they can understand what's been established and how they can add to it if they see a gap. Next is storming. The teams move into the storming phase where people start to push against the boundaries established in the forming stage. This is the stage where many teams start to fail. Storming often starts where there is a conflict between team members' natural working styles. People may work in different ways for all sorts of reasons, but if differing working styles cause unforeseen problems, they may become frustrated. Storming can also happen in other situations. For example, team members may challenge your authority or jockey for a position as their roles are clarified. Or if you haven't defined clearly how the team will work, people may feel overwhelmed by their workload, or they could be uncomfortable with the approach you're using. Some may question the worth of the team's goals, and they may resist taking on tasks. Team members who stick with the task at hand may experience stress, particularly as they don't have the support of established processes or strong relationships with their colleagues. Storming can also be revisited as you move through developing your team, as new conflicts, as new tasks start to evolve. I want you to watch a video called "Sometimes You're a Caterpillar." Again, the link is provided in the email that the virtual learning session was provided with. Watch the video and think about the differences that you can see in this video. Gradually, the teams move into the norming stage. This is when people start to resolve their differences and appreciate colleagues' strengths, as well as respect your authority as a leader. Now that your team members know one another better, they may socialize together, and they are able to ask one another for help and provide constructive feedback. People develop a stronger commitment to the team goal, and you start to see good progress towards it. Lastly is the performing stage. The team reaches the performing stage when hard work leads without friction to the achievement of the team's goals. The structures and processes that you have set up to support this well. As the leader, you can delegate much of your work and you can concentrate on developing team members. Instead of looking at your team as a whole, you're now able to help each individual team member start to develop even better. It feels easy to be part of the team at this stage, and people who join or leave won't disrupt the performance. Adjourning. Teams will reach this stage eventually. For example, project teams exist for only a short period of time, and even permanent teams may be disbanded through organizational restructuring. Even now, during this uncertain time, during COVID-19, we've adjourned all of our groups. Team members who like routine or who've developed close working relationships with colleagues may find this stage difficult, particularly if their future now looks uncertain. So I look at it as transforming. Although this isn't an official stage of development, I believe it's definitely something that groups experience at all levels. Once teams have disbanded, they take their learned experiences with them and continue to apply what was learned. When and if they return to the team in the future, they help to reestablish the norms so you're not starting from the beginning again. Much of your section scouters, parents, even youth that return this fall will help to reestablish your group with the norms that were already in place and help new folks be able to learn them. Now, we've talked a lot about building your team. Let's now talk about managing an effective team. Be the conductor of your orchestra. What I mean about this is, think about a conductor of an orchestra. Say that you are attending the Nova Scotia Symphony, and you see this person with this stick, also known as a baton, which is French for stick, that they are waving around in front of the orchestra as it plays. If you've never seen this before, you may not fully understand what the leader is doing with that group. But remove the conductor from the orchestra, their leader, and chaos could ensue. This conductor may not look like they are doing anything, but that's a great leader. When a leader can let their team thrive, built on a lot of training and trust. Next, we'll look at 5 dysfunctions of a team. In a moment, but not just yet, click the link for 5 dysfunctions of a team. This video is a bit longer, about 7 minutes in length. It's based on a book written by Patrick Lencioni. Even after watching this video, if you haven't read it, I recommend you do. In short, it's all about the why a team could tumble into chaos and the how, as the leader, like yourself, can help your team climb back out of it and even mitigate further chaos before it happens. I've also attached a PDF summary of this YouTube video and is included in the email. Lastly, let's talk about aligning with Scouts Canada mission, bringing it all together and inspiring action. Through Youth Impact, Scouts help build a better Canada as active citizens, creating positive change. That's taken directly from the Scouts Canada website. This happens through youth-led programs and delivered by committed Scouters that help to build trust among their sections to create incredible experiences. Committed to inclusivity and diversity. These Scouters, led by their group commissioner, are committed to inclusivity and diversity. Remember the video, sometimes you're a caterpillar. As group commissioner or section Scouters, you believe in the 5 priorities for success. You are a critical member of Scouts Canada, your council, and your group. With your leadership, you help Scouts in your own community develop the skills, values, and characters that will guide them through every future adventure at every stage of life. Again, taken directly from Scouts Canada. You are the Yoda of your group. I am a self-proclaimed nerd, and if you know anything about Star Wars, you know about a little green man by the name of Yoda. He passes on his knowledge, sometimes in a direct way, and sometimes in a not so direct way. But he's bound by the Force and its values and code of conduct, much like in Scouts. You help your group to understand expectations. As we discussed, one way to do that is through a full value contract. In everything we do it through the lens of a culture of safety. We not only want to ensure our programs are safe, but we want to ensure that our Scouters, youth, and families feel that their experience as a whole is safe. When people feel safe, they start to build trust. Plus, when they have a community they feel they belong to, like Scouts, it helps folks determine their why they want to be part of it. Lastly, your council is there to support you every step of the way, whether it's your scouting relationship manager, like myself, or group support scouter. We want to ensure your success, because your success is our success, and together, we can build and manage effective teams. Remember, leadership is an ongoing journey of discovery. Thank you so much for being part of what I hope to be many more engaging online learning sessions. I appreciate and recognize the uncertainty as we all navigate through this new reality. With your continued leadership, Scouts has continued to thrive. Thank you again, and have a great rest of your evening. And I wish everyone a safe and healthy journey. If you have any questions or thoughts, please do not hesitate to reach out to me, as I'd love to hear feedback. My email is justin.debrail@scouts.ca. It's also provided in the email that the virtual learning session was provided through. Again, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. I'd love to hear from you.